Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the third match here with Emeria Saheeli. We won the die roll, and yes, we would like to play first. Let's see, look at our opener here. We have plenty of draw cards and some lands, so I think that's a key. Plus we have Saheeli as one of the combo pieces, or just in general to grind with some Wall of Omens. I think this is a pretty good hand. Now, it would be nice if we had some more interaction, but I imagine we'll draw to it. I'm going to lead with Scalding Tarn just because this can fetch up a basic island or plains, and this can just fetch an island. So we're going to use the, quote-unquote worst fetch land first. Although, in the grand scheme of things, they're both going to be pretty identical. Alright, Tron. Tron is, I would say, probably the second worst matchup for us, right? Outside of combo, I think we have a slightly better chance against Tron than we do against combo, but in general, this is going to be a rather horrible matchup. Now, we're going to hope it's Eldrazi Tron. Excuse me, the Eldrazi is the key focus of that statement. We're going to hope it's Eldrazi's and not regular Tron, because we're going to have a pretty hard time beating a turn 3 Karn. Now, we do have Ghost Quarter in our hand, and being on the play does help. So, alright, another land here. I'm just going to go ahead and Shock Fetch, get a Sacred Foundry. Play a Wall of Omens, and we may just be forced to Ghost Quarter next turn, depending on how our opponent plays out their turn. Alright, let's go ahead and get our draw card. Alright, double Ghost Quarter. So, not the end of the world. Ghost Quarter definitely helps us fight here. Okay, Bluetron. Okay. So my guess is they have Condescend here, right? So we're going to play a Ghost Quarter. And just go ahead and play another Wall of Omens here. We don't want to run Saheeli straight into Condescend mana. And we're not worried about Tron just yet. So Bluetron is... It's quite the matchup. I'm just going to say that. But we do get the opportunity here to actually develop our mana base, which is interesting. So they go for Academy Ruins. Interesting. Are they going to go Academy Ruins, put Expedition Map back on the top of their deck? I think I'm actually going to go ahead and Ghost Quarter it. Kind of like force some interaction here, right? So they'll be forced to put Expedition Map on the top of their library if they want it. And then they won't also be able to search for a land off of Ghost Quarter if that's what they choose to do. So I'm kind of putting them in a really, really tough position here. If I was my opponent, I would probably just go ahead and get an island here. Yeah. Yep. Sure, so we got another Saheeli. Not bad at all. So now they can Condescend no matter what I play. So I'm just going to go ahead and play another Wall of Omens. And just keep drawing cards here. Sun Titan, definitely not a bad draw, but not exactly what we need right now. So we kind of want to catch them in the turn when they just... Alright, so Thirst for Knowledge, sure. There's nothing we can't interact with a Thirst for Knowledge, unfortunately. But this may draw them into some more lands. Now we do have one more Ghost Quarter in hand to try to break up Tron. Wow, they just go ahead and discard 2 lands. My guess is their hand is pretty good. Alright, another Urza's Tower. So they go to the Solemn Simulacrum plan. Are they just going to go for natural, 7 mana? Negate. Negate is actually a really good draw. It'll let me play Saheeli next turn with Negate backup. I actually really like that. I'm going to go ahead and crack a fetch here. Very rarely are we going to need to cast double red in one turn, but we will need to cast double blue on occasion. So that's what we're going to go for. So we're going to go ahead and red, blue, white. I'm going to go ahead and cast Saheeli. And we do have Negate up here. We're going to attempt to negate. And we'll see what our opponent does here. Alright, so we get to resolve Saheeli. And I think we're going to immediately cash it in for value. I think drawing cards is going to be much more important in this matchup. And Path to Exile is going to be a pretty nice draw if our opponent is on the, Worm Coil Engine plan. Alright, Obero. Alright, looks like our opponent is just going to go ahead and pass the turn. Which I would say is pretty good for us. Yeah, I'm scared of Karn for sure. But, yeah, because Karn exiling Saheeli is actually pretty relevant. The fact that she doesn't hit the graveyard means that Sun Titan can't just be an I win button down the road. Alright. Opponent passes the turn. Cortosar is actually a pretty nice draw. I'm going to go ahead and... So do we want to go Cortosar or Pilgrim's Eye? I think we want to go Cortosar. So we'll go blue, white, white. Play a Cortosar. And we want to do that first before we blink with Saheeli. So here we want to, keeping up Ghost Quarter, not the most relevant. They're going to have basics. They're still 2 turns away from Tron at most. That turn, whatever, it might have been pretty aggressive. This is going to be a Condescend. Condescend X equals 3. Yeah. No. So they're going to go ahead and scribe it here. I think we can take this turn to tap out. I don't mind. So maybe I should have sequenced that differently. Maybe I should have gone Pilgrim's Eye first. But if my opponent wants to counter Pilgrim's Eye, I'm going to feel pretty good about that. We'll go ahead and get a Plains here. So there's no reason to keep up Path, no reason to keep up Ghost Quarter. Probably should have switched the sequencing of my 2 spells there. But either way, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. One of them was probably going to get countered anyways. Because my opponent have like Squelch here or something? Is that what they're... right? Or is that activated abilities only? I don't actually remember. Yes. Right, get a Plains, tick up with Saheeli. Let's see what we got on the top of our deck here. Lone Missionary is pretty bad. Definitely not the card we want in this matchup. I'd say we have some of the best cards we'd want in this matchup. Alright, there's Urza's Mine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So if our opponent wants to go Karn here, what's our play? Just Sun Titan up for Ghost Quarter? Alright, Trinket Mage. Sure. So this is an artifact that's 1 mana or less. Expedition Map, maybe? Alright, so this Academy Ruins is gone. Alright, Expedition Map. Sure. And they're going to go ahead and cast it as well. And hopefully we can just Felidar Guardian here. No Felidar Guardian. Okay. Is there any reason we should go Sun Titan here and run it into another Condescend? I don't think so. I think we're gonna have to Ghost Quarter on our opponent's upkeep or draw step. However, it will mean that they can't use Expedition Map this turn. Is it worth running it into a Remand or a Condescend or something like that? They've already used up 2 Condescends, so what are the chances they have more? The riskiest play would be Sun Titan. I don't know actually. We have a lot of choices here. Because if we see Felidar Guardian on the top, I think we'd much rather actually go for that, right? But what are the chances we see Feldar play wall, get Feldar off the top? Like, what are the chances for that? So we could go Sun Titan. I don't know. My guess is they have some form of interaction here. So I'm gonna not run Sun Titan out, which is one of our best plays. They could have repeal, right? Okay, so we could draw a card off of Wall of Omens. No, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna ping up. It's the most conservative line, but I think wow, another Sun Titan on top. I think I actually want to keep it on top. Oddly enough, play a plains here, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast Sun Titan. So the sequencing might be odd. I'm gonna get back Ghost Quarter. And have double Ghost Quarter up here. So if our opponent has Condescend for 2, like, alright, so they have the third Condescend. Like, yeah, I can't pay 2, of course. I took the riskiest line, but now they can't. So on their draw step, no, actually, on their how did they scry is the question. Top. So on their upkeep, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, let's go ahead and attack first with Pilgrim's Eye. That's free damage right there. Just because we have an infinite combo doesn't mean we don't need to get some damage in there. So on upkeep, I'm going to go ahead and Urza's Mine, hit Urza's Mine with Ghost Quarter. So if they want to shuffle up their deck, they can go ahead and do so. Alright, so they do not fetch up a land here. And they go ahead and draw their card. There's this power plant. Alright, well, looks like they have Tron anyways, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they'll have Tron next turn. What are the chances they have the 4th Condescend, right? I think pretty low. I think the chances are pretty low, and I think we want to go ahead and Sun Titan, get Ghost Quarter again, so I'm going to go ahead and run out Sun Titan, get Ghost Quarter, attempt to -2 Saheeli on Sun Titan, get another Ghost Quarter. Just keep them off Tron as best as I can, because the game runs away really quickly once they hit Tron. No, come on. Repeal, Saheeli. Okay. Sure. That's actually a pretty good play, right? Alright, so as much as I'd love to go for the value play here, I think we just have to keep our opponent off Tron. We'll attack for 1 here. So in case I have a feeling they have we want to do it on upkeep. Oh wait, but they drew their card with repeal, so they're gonna do it anyways. I think upkeep is still the best time to go ahead and pop Urza's power plant. There's for knowledge. Okay. So we resolve the Sun Titan, so we're already in a pretty good spot here. So we're gonna see what they do with Thirst for Knowledge here. What lands? So Gemstone Cavern. I think I still want to hit power plant here. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so the hope is like they tap out for like a Platinum Angel here or something like that. We can path it, get in with Sun Titan, maybe like Saheeli as well. That's gonna be the goal here. Alright, looks like they're just passing the turn. That's pretty good for us, I would say. Another Path to Exile is great. So if they have another repeal here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then it's going to feel pretty bad if we try to go Saheeli down tick. So I think the safer play is just going to be to go to combat here. And that way we can still recast. Alright, so I think here we can actually get Court Hussar, right? And start digging for something? Or do we want to just get another Ghost Quarter? Because they don't have any lands we actually want to hit right now. So I think we just want to get Court Hussar. And draw some cards, basically. Alright. So it's going to get sacrificed. Ooh, Negate seems pretty good, right? Yeah, we'll go ahead and take Negate. Okay, let's get sacrificed. We bash in there. Alright, opponent's blocking, saving some damage. This way we can keep up Negate plus Path to Exile. Remand, sure. That is fine. Thirst for Knowledge. Yeah, I don't want to fight over that. I want to fight over actual spells rather than the draw spells. Alright, so there goes a Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan would actually be pretty tough here, right? Like, they'd destroy our island, our plains, our mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yeah, they could do that if they wanted to, but the fact that they discarded it... Alright, so they have a mine. Relic. Ooh, Relic is really good here, right? I think I have to negate that. Oddly enough. Alright, they have the 4th Condescend. No, I cannot pay that much mana. Alright, so they're going to go ahead and scry a bunch here. So, getting Court Hussar last turn, maybe we got punished for that? I'm not quite sure, but Relic is down. And our opponent in a pretty good spot here. Alright, so there's another red source. We'll just go ahead and cast Saheeli. Attempt to downtick on Sun Titan. This will probably cause our opponent to crack the Relic of Progenitus. And what we can do here, actually, is if they go ahead and pop it, we can cast our other Saheeli. Let's just go ahead and get target Ghost Quarter, of course. We should have the kill here in a couple different ways. My guess is our opponent's going to go ahead and crack Relic right now. Yep. So that fizzles-ish. And I think, unless our opponent has exactly Remand here, they're going to be in a rough spot. Whoops. And this should be the kill here. Of course, unless they have Remand or Negate or something like that. My guess is they don't. So choose Saheeli to keep. We'll keep this one. Let's go ahead and downtick. And this should be the infinite loop here. We don't want to do it too many times to preserve our time. Choose Saheeli to keep. And we have infinite 6/6 haste, vigilance creatures here. Alright, so our opponent sees the loop. They concede. I just wanted to make a few extra in case our opponent had some sort of weird card. Negate. Dispel. Ceremonious Rejection. I don't know about Detention Sphere. Let's bring in Stony Silence. Wear and Tear. Wear and Tear is decent. It's decent. I think I want to cut Supreme Verdict here. Lone Missionary gets the cut. Mortar Pod gets the cut. Spreading Seas is pretty good. Wall of Omens is a decent draw card, but not much else, not much more than that, right? So the question is, do we want to bring in the other D-Sphere? I don't think so. I don't know. You know, maybe. I mean, I like D-Sphere to just hit off the wall kind of cards, like catch all. But I think we have a pretty good setup here to fight Tron. Relic might be interesting to hit their Academy Ruins loops with Mindslaver. But we already have 4 Ghost Quarter. I'm gonna go ahead and run it back. I think this is a pretty good setup we have here. I don't think we should be too scared of Mindslaver here. We have a lot of ways to fight it. We have 2 Ceremonious Rejections. We have 2 Wear Tears, Stony Silence, Negates, Dispels to fight over it. Yeah, so we're pretty equipped to beat this matchup, I would say. But it's definitely going to be a grind, and it's going to revolve around drawing our hate cards as well as resolving a Sun Titan or an early Saheeli. I think either way we could do it. You know, trimming on turn 2 cantrips might be wrong in this matchup. I don't think it is though. I think this game's gonna go long. Even if we like get stuck on 2 or 3 mana, we could draw out of it given time. Like maybe I should be cutting this Detention Sphere, keeping in a Wall of Omens, a 3rd Wall of Omens. You know, I'm not sure. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure. I think Flicker Wisp is actually gonna be a pretty good card in this matchup. To just generate value as well as provide 3 damage in the air, which would force my opponent to answer it with something like a Repeal, which would let me recast it and maybe get more value off of it. Just these little things that you got to think about. Hopefully we get the right draws. You know, I've actually been really over-impressed with Cortazar. You know, I've a lot of lists played 3, and I was like, you know what, this card seems just okay, but it's, you know, Anticipate on a Stick is, which is recurable with 90% of the cards in your deck. You know, it's crazy. I like it a lot. So, what's our opener here? This is, I mean, what more can you ask for, right? So yeah, this is definitely a keep. We can try to keep our opponent off of Tron. We have Ceremonious Rejection. Yep, that's a keep. We don't have red mana for Tear yet, but for Wear, excuse me. Wow, Slayer West, interesting. So, ooh, Pilgrim's Eye is a nice draw. I'm going to head and shock it, which kind of gives away what I'm doing. At the same time, though, if like they go for Expedition Map here, I do want to hit it. Wow, another Ghost Quarter. Interesting. So we could go for the Spreading Seas here. They could very easily have the Condescend or some sort of negate. We could also save the Spreading Seas for the land that we know we need to hit. If that makes any sense. So what do we want to play here? Let's just go ahead and play a Plains. We're not in fear of Tron at the moment. So no need to play Ghost Quarter just yet. Here we can just keep up Rejection. So now Tron is a bit scarier, right? Here's what we're gonna want to do. All right, so red source is pretty nice for the destroy target artifact mode. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Urza's Tower. At least attempt to. My guess is it's not going to resolve, but this will at least let us. All right, so remand. Interesting. So do we peg them on having natural Tron? Is the question. So I guess upkeep will go ahead and Ghost Quarter. We have a lot of lands. It's setting us back a turn. But I'm going to go ahead and hit Urza's Tower. It's the most powerful of the lands. It will produce 3 mana. And I'm just, you know, I'm afraid of Tron. So it might be, alright, so they have double power plant. So we're tapped out. Spreading Seas in hand doesn't do much from this point on. Negate. Like I said, they have at most they'll have 5 mana next turn. I'm just going to go ahead and, first of all, conceal this Ghost Quarter. And I'm just going to go ahead and play a Pilgrim's Eye. If they want to counter this or remand this or something like that, I wouldn't mind that at all. And I think here we actually get an island, even though that doesn't play nicely with Emeria, which is an important grinding tool for a game like this, I think. I think it's going to be important to be able to cast Spreading Seas and Negate in one turn. Yes. Alright. So we picked up another island. So if our opponent goes like Thirst for Knowledge here, yeah, that's going to feel pretty rough. But they're a bit away from Tron. And so we have a bit of wiggle room here. And if they expose one piece of Tron, we can Spreading Seas. So them playing that second Urza's Power Plant was actually really important for us. So here they're probably thinking like, Thirst for Knowledge, repeal, do you repeal the Pilgrim's Eye? Because that's just value for me. So it would be more of a tempo play rather than a card advantage play. However, they do get the draw card off of repeal. So it would be pretty even, I think, all things considered. It really depends how much they need to draw a card. All right, Thirst for Knowledge. So we went off about repeal. They had Thirst for Knowledge in the end. That's fine. Let's see what they discard here. Turn 6 is their big turn. That's when we're going to need to have some counter magic up. Either Negate and Ceremonious Rejection. It really depends also what they play next turn. But it looks like they have a lot of decisions to make here. Because I would say this is one of the more interactive Tron matchups out there. The fact that they play, so like 8 counter spells main, Remand, Condescend, makes it really important to interact. Also the fact that they have an infinite Mindslaver combo, unlike Tron, which is kind of just like, play big stuff and, get there. It definitely requires a lot more thinking. Because, if your opponent slams an Ugin, like, you're in a pretty rough position, but you don't lose the game on the spot. Against them, they, you do lose the game on the spot if they assemble. So they discard Mindslaver. Interesting. Looks like they're not on the Mindslaver plan, as we just talked about. Or they still could be. They could have Academy Runes. Alright, so they play Urza's Mine, which we will probably Spreading Seas. Sun Titan is a great draw. I think it's going to be a really good card to play down the road. We're just going to go ahead and swing in for 1 here. I do apologize if you hear a lot of noise out there. There's a helicopter overhead. Alright, we got in for 1 damage. We're going to go ahead and attempt to Spreading Seas this Urza's Mine. We do have the Negate backup. The only issue is, like, if they have something like, double... like I think we need to keep up Negate or Ceremonious Rejection here. As far ahead as this might be pushing them. Alright, wow, so they discarded Remand. Oh, they discarded Engineer Explosives, excuse me. Yeah, Engineer Explosives, alright, so they have Tron. Tron is online. Oh boy. Oblivion Stone. Sure. That's not a card I want to fight over, right? We'll attempt to destroy that, right? If they want to counter that, be my guest. We're going to try to keep them off of Tron here. That's going to be our game plan moving forward. We have the Ghost Quarter to do it as well. It's an uncountable way to do it. I think we want to save Ceremonious Rejection for something really powerful, like a Sundering Titan or a Wormcoil Engine, because we don't have Path to Exile right now. So our opponent is thinking, like, do I pop this Oblivion Stone in response just to kill this Pilgrim's Eye? And I think that's pretty loose. I think you're doing a lot more for the game if you actually keep up mana. But obviously, I don't know what's in my opponent's hand. It looks like they're popping it. Condescend. No. Be my guest. Let's see how they do that. Puts a card on top, puts a card on top. Wow. Okay, I see. So they can Oblivion Stone the Spreading Seas, which is why I don't want to I didn't think about that. That might actually have been a reason not to go all in like that. However, we wanna get in the damage here. And we may still want to use the Spreading Seas because it's not going to be doing much else, I think. So here we want to... I guess we want to hit Urza's Mine because we want to make them fetch another Urza's Mine. If that makes any sense. Yeah. We don't want them to fetch another Urza's Tower down the road. What do you got? What do you got for me here? Condescend. I mean, we could dispel that, right? Yeah, I mean, I might as well dispel that. And then we have Ghost Quarter up. He'll force them to pop Oblivion Stone here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So they can pop Oblivion Stone here. Alright, so they have 7 mana. The hope is that they don't play something ridiculous here. Alright, so there's nothing ridiculous. We basically got an extra turn here. Stony Silence. That is it's a card. I think that would easily force the Oblivion Stone crack. So I'm not going to go ahead and use that right now. Although, yeah, actually, I think I will. It will force the Oblivion Stone crack, sure, but they were going to do that anyways, and it's just a nice way to use our mana this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Because if they let this resolve, they will not be able to crack Oblivion Stone afterwards. But we are keeping up Ghost Quarter, we're keeping up Rejection, and we're keeping up Negate, and Path to Exile. So the fact is, both of us have to respect a lot from each other's decks here. Considering this is just game 2, our opponent might have to be playing a lot quicker. They are running down their clock pretty quickly. So we're definitely ahead in the clock race. Condescend. Come on. Thing is, if we have... Alright, I'm going shields down for 1 turn. And I really hope I don't get punished by, like, remand here. Alright? Because if I can stick this, it means, yeah, alright. So this is only 1 turn of shields down, because we have rejection. Sorry, yeah, it's not really shields down, is it anymore? They can't crack, I mean, they can have repeal, they have repeal. So repeal is, they can Ghost Quarter my Ghost Quarter here. But they still have to get rid of the Spreading Seas somehow. So I guess they could repeal Spreading Seas. Yeah, they Ghost Quarter my Ghost Quarter. I'll say, okay, yes. Get a Plains. The issue is, of course, now we can't really fight their counter magic at this point. So it's going to be a grind. I think this is going to be a grind. Hopefully we shut off a good amount of their cards off the top. But, you know, they've gone through, again, 3 Condescends already, a Thirst for 2 Thirst for Knowledges, 2 Remands. So a lot of their scariest cards for us at this point are gone. And the fact that they didn't just jam a Sundering Titan here makes me feel like they don't have it. Or maybe they don't have any payoff. So they definitely went for a risky play. I think if I were them, I maybe would have just cracked Oblivion Stone, gotten my Tron back. It's hard to say though. I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to play Blue Tron better than my opponent here. So, all right. So everyone is passing the turn. That's another Sun Titan. So, what we can do here is just swing in with Pilgrim's Eye. And what we're going to do is cast Feld our Guardian, blink our Pilgrim's Eye, at least attempt to. And if our opponent wants to counter this, it's fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and go for the land here, just to ensure being able to cast Sun Titan down the road. Even though it does make my opponent's Ghost Quarters better, they can't know that. Which is what's nice. And this gets 2 more bodies on the board. We can still keep up Path plus Ceremonious Rejection. And if we draw a land, we can cast Sun Titan and keep up Ceremonious Rejection. So all in all, unless our opponent has like a Thirst for Knowledge here, I'd say we're in a pretty good position. Repeal will be pretty good here too. I think our opponent has multiple lines here that could help, but I mean, it really depends what they have. Looks like they got more or less nothing. All right, there's a land. So I think we'll start with attacks, see if our opponent wants to do anything about that. Go ahead and crack a fetch. Get another. Do we need another blue or another red source? I think getting another. Like I said, I think blue is still the most important color for this deck. And let's just jam a Sun Titan. Guess we can get back a Ghost Quarter, right? We don't have any combos or anything really, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Condescend? 1, 2. Spell Burst. Yeah. Got it. So that's the thing. They have a lot of counter magic, but how are they going to close out the game, you know? 1, 2, 3. Fabricate. Sure. Can't do anything about that. See what artifact they get. I imagine it's going to be a Wormcoil Engine or a Sundering Titan, both of which we can answer pretty efficiently. Crucible of Worlds. Interesting. I think that's worthy of a counter. That is definitely worthy of a counter. If our opponent has another Spell Burst here, they would get us. But we've been sitting on this rejection for a while. And they just used 1 Spell Burst, and I can't imagine they played too many of them. I'd say, ooh, excuse me, sorry about that noise right there. All right, so Crucible's gone. I'd say we're in a really good spot now. Shutting off this Oblivion Stone. Let's go ahead and just swing in here. Get in our damage. And cast another Sun Titan. Our amazing Sun Titan engine. Get back a Ghost Quarter. Just to have some more protection against Tron. Is there any reason to pop it right now? I don't think so. Is there any reason to do it on upkeep? Hit that Urza's Tower. They'd have one more blue mana, but I don't think that's a problem, right? So let's go ahead and just do it on their upkeep. It just takes away one potential top deck for them, right? If they top deck Urza's Mine, we're not in the greatest position. So we gotta keep pressuring them here. Force them to have it, really. They play the 4th Urza's Power Plant, so we're not hitting Power Plant, let's just say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wormcoil Engine, sure. We'll play around Condescend. I'm not gonna Path to Exile end of turn here. Unless they do something here. Treasure Maid, search library for an artifact with put into your hand. Sure, so I'm gonna guess this is getting another Wormcoil Engine. Sundering Titan. I wonder if I'm okay with that. This is not gonna be easy. Not gonna be easy. This is gonna be a grind here, I think. Detention Sphere. Not quite. Doesn't quite do it, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's not like we have the win here or anything. Saheeli would have been wonderful, of course. So here we can attack with Sun Titan, get back a bunch of lands, and just try to negate the Sundering Titan as best as we can. I think that's the only thing we can do here, right? I think Ghost Quarters at this point are unnecessary. So if we can just get back Scalding Tarn and Flooded Strand, that seems like it puts us in a decent position to try to fight through a Sundering Titan. Fortunately, we don't have too much value plays to make here. Opponent's clock is running down here, so they're in a rough spot. We could also just Flicker Wisp the Spreading Seas, draw a card. But I think getting Flicker Wisp, actually, that's tough. That's tough. Yes. Opponent's probably going to block the Sun Titan here. If they don't, they're probably pretty dead, right? So you go to 10. I think we do want to just ensure that we get lands in play. A very easy way to lose this game is just not have lands because of Sundering Titan. So, but it looks like our opponent might just end up losing to the clock here more than anything. So we have 5 in the air. There's an Urza's Tower. Not a bad card. Especially if they have an Urza's Mine, eventually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a Sundering Titan. Your boy Sundering Titan is in. So, we should have lethal. If our opponent doesn't have any interaction. There's also Saheeli. So I think we go for Saheeli first, right? Yeah, let's go for Saheeli first. So we're cracking the fetch here. Either way, we have 2 ways to win from this position, and that's good enough for me, right? Alright, opponent. It's a pretty bad time to be thinking. 1:30 left on the clock. Red, blue, Saheeli. And that should be the kill here. Can't imagine my opponent has much to do about this. Let's make a billion cats. Does our opponent have interaction here? Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Sure. Still have exactly lethal though. Don't that feel good? Whew. Man, Blue Tron. I would say that's a really rough matchup for this deck. I would really say, but we grinded through, didn't we? We really, those 4 Ghost Coders came in really handy, I would say. Really, really handy. But yeah, opponent 0 cards. Dead on board. And we won the match. So that was our 3rd game here with Emeria Saheeli. Thanks so much if you got this far. And stay tuned for some closing statements. I'll see you soon. What's up, guys, and welcome back here to the closing statements with Emeria Saheeli. So let's talk about the deck a little. Overall, it actually performed pretty well. I did use other people's deck lists as kind of inspiration here, but most of the numbers and the card choices here were relatively something I thought up off the top of my head, more or less. So I'm actually pretty happy with the way it performed. But let's talk about some of the individual things. So there were a few times where mana was a little shaky. I'm not sure if there's any way to fix this up. I do like 3 Emeria. Maybe we can cut down to like 3 Ghost Quarter or maybe even 2 Ghost Quarter. 4 is a lot. I mean, it does fix the really bad matchups like Tron, which we saw in match 3 against Blue Tron. It definitely put in overtime in that matchup. However, we do want to have a fluid mana base. So maybe cutting 2 of these for maybe another Sacred Foundry, another Hallowed Fountain, or like another Foundry plus 1 Plains or something like that. I do think this deck also wants more basics as well. So overall, mana base could use some work. Could definitely use some work. But let's talk about what I did like about the deck. I love the 4 Path to Exile, of course. Verdicts, were very helpful in the Abzan matchup. And I think they'd be very helpful in the metagame overall, especially against Grixis Death Shadow. No, we didn't face that, but I still think that it's important to be prepared for a matchup like that. D-Sphere, 1 of, Catch All, not bad at all. I did like the negate. You didn't see it in the matchup we played here in our 3 matches, but I did get to play against Ad Nauseam, and they basically won me the game 1. So I think it's actually a really important card to have any sort of game whatsoever against combo decks game 1. They're not too big in the meta right now. Storm, Ad Nauseam are getting hated out a lot by Grixis Shadow, but there's still decks like Titan Shift out there who can largely ignore whatever you do and still beat you. So it's important to have some sort of interaction. That's what the negates are for. I didn't really get to use Mortar Pod over the matches we saw, right? So I'm not sure what to think of Mortar Pod. I know it's important to continue that recursive engine, especially if you have Wall of Omen, Sun Titan, and Mortar Pod out. But overall, I was a little unimpressed. Whenever I drew it, I didn't really want to play it, and then I didn't really draw it that much anyways, and then I don't even see how it would have helped in any of the matchups we had, so it's tough. Like, I can see, okay, like, you can ping down a Lingering Souls, you can kill a Dark Confidant, all X1s and stuff, possibly X2s if you have Recursion, but, like, I don't know. It seems sketchy, in my opinion. Like, I know this is used to be maybe very good. I think maybe having 1 Mortar Pod now could be enough, but you other maybe Emeria experts can tell me otherwise. The 1 Spreading Seas was pretty cool. Came up a couple times. I could blink it with Flicker Wisp or Felidar, as well as it was able to shut down Tron. So I think it's a cool little 1-up to have. Just add this extra value. I don't think we need to go too overboard with them though. Lone Missionary, of course, wasn't great in the matchups we saw. I still think it's an essential card to have to gain life in a pinch. 3 Flicker Wisp, 3 Felidar seemed like an interesting split. I've seen 4-2 in other lists, but I do like kind of maximizing our chance to have the turn 4 combo while not going overkill. Because Feldar Guardian by its, I mean, it can blink a fair amount of stuff, but I think maybe four of them would be a little too much. It's a 4-mana sorcery speed threat that doesn't, threat I say, but it doesn't impact the board all that much. I was over impressed with Cortazar. I think that is a great card. I definitely want to maybe find a way to jam a third in there. Definitely a sweet card. Sun Titan does Sun Titan things, of course. Saheeli, Pilgrim's Eye all play important roles, comboing, getting lands, etc., etc. Definitely liked the cohesiveness of the deck. It felt like it was all going towards one game plan. And even though you had like a combo finish in there, it still felt like, okay, get to 6 mana, cast the Sun Titan, and just outvalue your opponent. And that plan, very, very live. Especially because a lot of your cards are just very redundant, and they get you towards that goal, which I really, really like. So I think this deck played incredibly well. Sideboard could probably use some tuning as well. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think the combo matchups are of course, very difficult. But there's also the idea, like, maybe just ignore the combo matchups and just do your best to win without that combo hate. I don't know if that's the right way to go. I don't want to, even though combo is so low in the meta. But overall, the deck performed well. I actually really enjoyed playing it. It was a different angle to Saheeli. I think it's a deck like this shines in a grindier metagame, but with the speed of Modern, it's very hard to justify taking this deck to a tournament. But I think if you metagame properly and you know what you expect to face either at your local meta or in a large meta, if you're following the move of the metagame, you can maybe easily take this to a tournament and just outgrind your opponent while still having this like turn 4 win up your sleeve or just infinite combo up your sleeve to fix the matchups that are very difficult to grind through. So that's my take on the deck. Before we wrap things up, I would like to thank Dylan Michael. He's our very first patron. So thank you very much, Dylan Michael. He gets the honor of being the only one that can actually vote for the next Under the Microscope series. So if you're interested to see what decks I might be playing next and you want to have an opportunity to vote on what deck I'll be playing next, then check out my page on Patreon, which I'll include in this description as well. And please, I hope that you are enjoying my videos and you're at least subscribing, and if not, that's okay as well. But hopefully you'll check out that page. You'll hopefully, very hopefully, if you want, donate some amount of money. But either way, I do appreciate the fact that you've made it this far. Thank you for watching the videos. If you have any questions, suggestions, anything like that, feel free to put them in the comments below. I check every comment I can. I may miss a few, but I'll do my best to get each and every one of them in a timely manner. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you like this video, and check out the next Under the Microscope series coming up soon, and I might do a competitive league as well soon with a few updates to my Jeskai Saheeli list. But overall, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for next week. See you soon.